The major project, your philosophy of education, is very straightforward. At its base, you will write a paper that answers our 5 philosophical educational questions from across this semester. Our 5 questions are: what is good teaching? What is good learning? What is worth knowing? Who is the educated person? And what is the purpose of school? The entire semester, as you're reading and watching the videos, as you're completing your assignments, you should keep these 5 questions in the back of your mind. I recommend keeping a notebook or a binder where you can write down new ideas you have as you work through the next 7 weeks of the course. The first question that you should address is, what is good teaching? What does good teaching look like? What does good teaching sound like in your classroom? What is good teaching? What does the teacher do that is good teaching? And so you will cite Aristotle or Socrates. You will cite John Dewey in answering that question. You will also draw on your own experiences as well. The next question is, what is good learning? Now, we tease these apart, good teaching and good learning, and really all of these questions are one cohesive experience and one cohesive kind of conceptual whole. But we have to tease them apart in order to really get down to what we believe about education. And so the first question, again, is what is good teaching? Then, what is good learning? What is it that the students are doing in the classroom that is good? How do you know learning is taking place? How do you know the students are learning what it is you or they think they need to learn? Following that, we ask the question, what is worth knowing? What is it that they're learning in the classroom? What's the curriculum content? What's the subject matter? What are the skills? What do you believe is important to learn in the classroom from your point of view, and then supported by the philosophers that we're reading? The fourth question, who is the educated person? So you've answered what is good teaching, and you've answered what is good learning, and you've discussed and shared what you believe is important to know through the learning and the teaching. But then who is that educated person? After a student has had you as a teacher or an administrator, how do you know they're educated? What does that look like or sound like? Who is the educated person in society? What do they know? How do they act? What can they do? And lastly, the fifth question, what's the purpose of school? Why do we have schools? Why do we have to educate students? Thinking about what good teaching and good learning is, thinking about what's worth knowing and who becomes that educated person. Why do we even have this entire system of education in our country? Why do we educate students in our society? So these are the questions that you need to answer in your philosophy. Your philosophy should begin with an introduction. Why are you in teaching? What motivates you? What is it that drives you to be a teacher or an administrator or a part of the educational system? Then you'll answer the 5 questions in any way that you believe is worthwhile. And then you'll have a conclusion that pulls it all together. It's very straightforward. What I want it to be is a breathing, working document, much like the Constitution of the United States. It should be able to ebb and flow and change over time. Leave yourself open to adaptations and evolution. So as you're answering these questions, you might say, however, I can see this might change in the future. Or you might even address that your views have shifted and they've become modified over time. Over the course of the next 7 weeks, you will answer 5 philosophical questions, and you will submit that as a document in a paper form at the very end. Use APA citation to the best of your ability. I know we're all getting back into the master's degree and being master's students, so do your best, and I'll help you with that as well. I'll send a link out to the Purdue OWL, which is really good for APA citation formatting. What's more important is that you're getting something out of the class. So think about your teaching and your learning, thinking about how you view the classroom. This philosophy paper should help you kind of encapsulate that and create a very strong statement of you in education. If you have any questions, please let me know. Email me, give me a phone call, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks, everybody.